admission at matinee rates. I know a big-budget beauty with impeccable taste. She'll get you what you need to put a smile on your face with just the right blend of leather and lace. Madam Grindhouse is gonna be your guide to a weird, wild, wonderful world waiting inside. Step right up, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. She's here to provide Madam Grindhouse.
Hello, my little sprocket friends and cinematic masochists. It's me, Madam Grindhouse, your cinematrix of the silver screen. Tonight, we continue our look at the short-lived but ambitious Grindhouse-themed TV series Blood Drive. We talked about the first episode a couple of years ago before we got our shit together over here, so if you want details on how this show came to be and where things currently stand, you should go watch that video. It's our second episode, not hard to find. We've only done I think this is number 13. But for the sake of clarity...
Previously on
Blood Drive!
Arthur Bailey, the last good cop! Yeah, I couldn't get through that with a straight face. Anyway, the world has gone to shit because of an as-yet unexplained disaster. Society hasn't completely collapsed yet, but it's heading that way. Arthur and his partner, Chris Carpenter, after noticing some strange marks on a water thief's arm, investigate a warehouse the thief points them to. Meanwhile, earlier in the day, Grace D'Argento arrives at the same warehouse. The party is the opening ceremonies for the Blood Drive, a cross-country road race where the cars run on human blood, and there's a $10 million cash prize. Julian Slink is the host and MC of the race, and to make sure nobody drops out, fits every racer with an explosive at the base of their skull, which he can activate at any time. Each day, the racers are given a new location to meet. Last one across the finish line gets their head blown up. When Arthur falls out of a window and onto Grace's car, Julian links them up as partners. The bombs mean they don't have a choice but to be a team, because if they get too far apart, the bombs go off. Chris gets a bottle to the face while trying to rescue Arthur, and the race begins. After dealing with a couple of the other racers, like Ribbone, the Gentleman, and the Scholar, Arthur and Grace wind up falling into last place and rely on irresponsible anal sex at dangerous speeds to boost their adrenaline levels so the bombs spits out. As you do. Julian, being a showman at heart, lets them get away with it but recalibrates the bomb so the trick won't work twice. Meanwhile, Chris continues to investigate the water thief lead. He and another officer, Aki, find some homeless people being taken to another warehouse where they're hooked up to a bunch of fracking tubes, apparently having their blood extracted. When Chris finds an empty spot with his name literally on it, it turns out Aki was setting him up, and she's also a robot. And there's more than one of her, as another Aki knocks Chris out. Arthur and Grace reach an agreement. Arthur will help Grace win the race, so she can get the money to get her addict sister the help she needs, and Grace will help Arthur find evidence to shut down the Blood Drive and its sponsor, Hart Enterprises. But this will be easier said than done, since Hart Enterprises seems to be literally everywhere. I know that's a lot to take in, but that's the perils of pilot episodes. But let's see if the next one is more straightforward. This is Welcome to Pixie Swallow. We open in Arizona at the Pixie Swallow Motel and Diner. Business is booming, and not just because of the cute waitress and her even cuter headband. Of course, this is a Grindhouse-inspired universe, so I'm sure we all know why the food's so good. One of the great cosmic contradictions of our time. Why is it that the best food always seems to come from hole-in-the-wall diners with the worst food safety protocols? On the road, the car needs a top-up. Arthur's hungry, and Grace isn't having any of his hero shit.
Look, without that money, my sister Karma spends the rest of her days in an insane asylum. Or I will throw you in that engine if you get in my way.
But it doesn't justify killing innocent people. There has to be another way.
To quote the great Laurence Olivier, "Have you tried acting, dear boy?" Well, this series is a lot of fun. Some of the acting can be really hit or miss. And what I want to know is, how in the hell did this guy go from this show to being the lead of one of the most popular TV shows out right now? They arrive in town, and Arthur tries to prevent Ribbone from throwing somebody into his engine. But Grace stops him, pointing out that all the cars are wired with cameras, and one of the rules of the race is that the racers can't kill or interfere with each other. At least, not when the day's race is over. And yes, someone is watching them. They also notice that Julian isn't there, which is unusual, but there's an explanation for that.
Julian Slink, tamer of beasts and connoisseur of fine wine, amateur swordsman, professional killer, and creator of the blood drive. They asked me to come in for a meeting. Yeah.
Ah yes, the true corporate experience. They call you in, you rearrange your whole schedule, get there on time, and then they make you wait just to try to prove they're the big dick in the interaction. Julian, my love, I've seen your teeth. Gum ain't gonna help. Maybe try Colgate.
What are you here for? They called me in for an interview. I heard some guy really blew it. Made a huge mess of things. So they're looking to replace him. They called me. Fingers crossed.
Whom did you say they were going to replace?
Oh, I don't know.
Mr. Scuttle, they're ready for you.
Uh-oh, looks like somebody's in trouble. Back at the diner, Arthur finds a payphone. Oh, yeah, this show takes place in 1999, for the record, and tries to get a hold of Chris.
Get ready for the beep.
Christopher, listen, we're in deep shit, man.
Just kidding, that was me again. Leave a message.
Yep, Grace was right. Cute as hell, but fucking dumb as a post. Our hero. Actually, a lot of heroes fall into that. They're called himbos. We love them. Usually. Except for cops. After getting off the phone, Arthur meets Carl, the owner of the diner. Carl is also a twitchy bundle of red flags.
So long as you're not the health inspector, I won't need to use this on you. I'm kidding. He came by a few weeks ago. The man had impeccable taste.
We then go to the C plot for this episode as Chris wakes up in a lab or prison cell or something like that with Aki waiting for him.
You achieved 9 erections while you were sleeping. Would you like to see the chart?
9? Yes, I very much would like to see the chart, please. And the subject in question. In my bedroom. In half an hour. We then get some backstory on Hart Enterprises and the world at large, since Hart is interested in recruiting Chris.
When the great fracking quakes tore this country asunder, Hart was but a fledgling tech company, a tiny operation with big dreams. And those dreams were realized by the appearance of the scar.
We at Hart found incredible resources in the scar. Unstable minerals, morally questionable fuel alternatives, unnatural gases, and deep wells of unidentifiable glowing goo, with properties far beyond the realm of modern science.
I prefer scientist Aki to weird corporate dominatrix Aki. Can I have that one instead? Chris gets a surprise when Aki tells him he's free to leave the room and explore the Hart Enterprises headquarters. So he can check out anytime he likes, but he can never leave. We then get back to the diner, where Arthur's meal is interrupted by another racer, my favorite, Fat Elvis.
I hate cops.
And that's why he's my favorite. Grace kicks the crap out of Fat Elvis and steals his room key so she can have a shower. Not that it really matters, because...
But it didn't last. She was my queen.
Fat Elvis, no! Well, my interest in who wins the race just dropped through the floor. Back at Hart, Chris keeps wandering around and finding strange things, like water which drips up from the floor to the ceiling. He finds a directory, and we switch back to the motel, where the gentleman and the scholar are being intimate.
I look forward to a real vacation. Reykjavik, maybe.
That sounds great. I really can't wait.
Beg your pardon? I wasn't inviting you. I'm going alone.
But
Princess. We make a great team for now, but in the real world, I prefer to date actual royalty.
Yeah, the gentleman's an asshole. In the motel room, Grace gets out of the shower and Arthur brings a corn dog into the room.
Mama needed a shower. Daddy still needs his dinner.
On the one hand, it wasn't his fault he didn't get to eat. On the other, yeah, he's a cop, fuck him.
Room service forgot ketchup. I'll go grab some.
That isn't a corn dog, is it?
The corn dog. Plump, juicy wieners are dipped in a thick, golden Southern-style corn batter that seals in all their freshness and flavor.
In the diner, Arthur finds the scholar.
So what about you and Grace?
Oh. It's complicated.
I know all about that. Does she make you wear the dog chain when she's spanking you?
Dude, you can do so much better. Seriously. Hell, even fucking Arthur would be better from you, and that's coming from me. The scholar leaves and Arthur finds out what the hell is going on at the diner.
Call Dwayne and his boys. Tell them we got a bunch of city folks causing trouble. Tell them to bring weapons.
That's not enough. You might get killed.
And we'll serve the losers to the winners. Everybody tastes the same on the griddle.
Yep, I have to do it. What's the sound of the world out there? The crunching noises pervading the air. It's man devouring man, my dear, and who are we to deny it in here? Oh, you all knew that was coming sooner or later. Oh, and that was most definitely not a corn dog.
Grace, I think that corn dog you ate was a...
Don't say it.
Oh, you don't need to, honey. I'm surprised they got a full foot long off anyone.
Plump, juicy wieners.
Arthur and Grace decide to get the hell out of there before Carl's cannibal buddies show up. Unfortunately, somebody's fucked with Grace's car, stranding them there. They decide to find the scholar since, just in case you forgot, he's basically a genius when it comes to cars. But Carl's buddies arrive at that point and all hell breaks loose. Car racing homicidal maniacs versus redneck cannibals. Place your bets! Back in the Hart sub-basement, Chris finds the confiscated items room, which includes his phone. He gets Arthur's voicemail. He tries to call him back but loses signal. At the diner, Grace and Arthur look for the scholar in the gentleman's room, but he's not there. They also get the gentleman up to speed.
You're gonna want to stop eating that.
Give me one good reason.
It's made of people.
No wonder it tasted so pedestrian.
I really hate that joke is as funny as it is. Well done. The scholar is missing, so they decide to check the kitchen. The gentleman refuses to help until Arthur points out that if their car was fucked with, so was his, and they're both going to need the scholar to get back on the road. Back in the Hart lobby, interview guy comes back thrilled because they gave him the job he interviewed for. Julian does not take this well.
Try replacing me now!
He can't replace you, Julian. He has no charisma.
He was the new head of maintenance.
Awkward. And can I just say, kudos to the receptionist for just taking it all in stride. Not my job to worry about the murder happening in the lobby, just gonna keep answering the phones. Back at the motel, everyone fights their way to the diner, but things come to an unexpected stop when Rib Bones comes outside.
Whose truck is that?
Peppy!
You left your dog in the car without cracking open a window. Well, you out of your fucking mind?
Man's got a point, and frankly, the dude's getting off easy in my opinion. Okay, Ribbone better have that dog throughout the rest of the series, because if anything happens to him, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself. In the diner, the phone starts ringing, which means Arthur has to beat the shit out of one of the cannibals. Carl and his daughter start packing everything up to get out, which includes the scholar. Grace and the gentleman show up, and Arthur takes the call, which is, of course, from Chris.
You were right. You fucking called it. They got their hands in everything. Politics, pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, electronics.
Arthur tells Chris that he can't get back to LA because of the bomb in his head, but asks him to see if there's anything on Grace's sister. While Chris looks for the files, he suggests trying to work hard from the inside.
Look, they own Contra Crime, right? They have eyes everywhere. You can't trust anybody. We gotta take this straight to the DA.
I'm pretty sure they own the DA too, dude. They don't seem to worry much about outright murder taking place in their lobby. Chris finds the file on Grace's sister and reveals she's at the Cane Hill Hospital. Arthur has to cut the call short. Meanwhile, Julian finally has his meeting.
Why am I talking to you? Where's the old man?
You are not worthy of his attention. You are barely worthy of mine.
I really should be getting back to the race.
Sit down.
Ooh, the standard TV procedural voice distortion filter. Nice! I told you back in the Grindhouse review, I like normie-core network procedurals. Sue me. Aki illustrates the big picture to Julian. So far, the blood drive is just a private show for the Heart executives, but they think it could be viable as a broadcast show.
Broadcast? That's impossible. The government would shut us down.
Judging from the state of the world, I don't think that's going to be a problem for much longer. I'll let you figure out which world I mean. Julian's attention gets grabbed when Aki tells him the Heart execs want to broadcast the show globally. And since Julian's a massive attention whore, that suits him just fine.
We were going to have you killed today. But after that show you put on in the lobby, we have reconsidered.
This year's blood drive will be the nastiest, most gruesome race in Heart history. No one puts on a show like Julian Sling.
But before you go, we have a few notes.
Just goes to show you, no matter the creative project, if there's an executive involved, there's going to be notes. Ugh, so glad we're a two-person operation over here. Back at the diner, Arthur keeps Carl and his crew busy while Grace gets the Scholar out of the truck. The Scholar goes immediately back to the gentleman and the two bug the hell out. Carl slams the truck closed with Grace still in it. Carl makes a break for it, which means as he gets farther away, the bombs in Grace and Arthur's heads activate. But because the Scholar, despite having shitty-tasted boyfriends, is actually a pretty decent guy, he gets Grace's car running again, which allows Arthur to catch up to Carl. It looks like Arthur's going to fail as the car still hasn't been refueled, but he manages to block the road and stop the truck. Very nice punch, my dude. Arthur tries to arrest Carl, but Grace has a more pragmatic solution.
I couldn't afford beef, and chicken is basically extinct. So, I found a substitute. Everybody's got to eat, man. We're all just part of the food chain.
Well, they got fuel now, and I'm actually kind of surprised it isn't the cop doing the murdering. Back at Heart, Chris decides to go ahead with his plan to work the place from the inside.
Heart can heal that eye of yours.
Ew. Don't lick the side with the infection draining from his eye, Aki. Even if you are a robot. Oh yeah, and Chris learns he fucked up by talking to Arthur. But we'll get to that in another episode. Back on the road, Arthur tells Grace that Heart owns Cane Hills, and he thinks they're both being manipulated for some reason. Checking the map of the race route, they find that the next lake passes through Utah and within 30 miles of Cane Hills. And armed with a plan, they get back in the race. So this episode isn't the best, but it's not terrible. It builds the story and the world pretty well, even if the main plot of the Cannibal Diner isn't anything special. If you're a fan of Grindhouse movies, you've probably seen that story plenty of times. And I don't know if it's the acting or the writing or both, but both Grace and Arthur aren't particularly compelling in this episode. And there's not nearly enough of Julian either. Hopefully that'll change as we go on in the series. Next time, we get a mono take on a good old-fashioned creature feature, and terrify any arachnophobics in the audience. So join me next time as I continue to show you what lurks on the other side of the silver screen.